and welcome to my kitchen.
I was born and raised in the South, in the city, and now I live in the Midwest, on a farm, and I love it. Other things I love are Jesus, my family, and everything food. I'm so glad you decided to join me today.
I'm so excited to show y'all the recipe today. Apple squares. And y'all, it sounds so fall-ish, but I make it throughout the year and it is so good, and I think you will too. Even if you don't like cooked fruit, I think you'll love this. Let me tell you what you'll need. You'll need 2 eggs and milk, flakes and cinnamon, granulated sugar and powdered sugar. You can't have too much sugar. And lastly, apples. Y'all, I'm so excited about this recipe. This is something that I always make, and it feels kind of healthy because it has apples in it, but it's so yummy. I got this from my sweet friend Donna years ago, over 20 years ago, and it is tried and true. The first thing we're gonna do is we're going to cut together 2.5 cups of flour and 1/2 teaspoon salt, and y'all know I'll not measure that, and a cup of Crisco. And we're gonna use this cutter. My sweet mother-in-law can cut together this mixture. She does a pecan pie with this, and she uses 2 forks, like this. It's amazing, but I'm not that talented. Flour, salt. Y'all, 1 cup Crisco. I remember the days before Crisco was in sticks, and it was so hard to get it in that cup, and you're pushing and it's stressful, and cooking should not be stressful. I mean, cooking is fun. So this just made it more fun, having these just easy to measure Crisco sticks. I love these. Don't y'all love these? Now we're going to cut in the flour, salt, and Crisco. And I love this cutter, and see, you just kind of get it in there. When your cutter gets all clogged up, you just take a sharp knife, just go like that. It's so much fun to make pastry. You feel so chef-like, chef adjacent, chef-esque. All right, it's starting to resemble crumbs, which is what you want. Have y'all ever used butter flavored Crisco? I don't like it at all. Why butter flavored Crisco? Use real butter. Again, I don't judge. You do you. All right, here's what it looks like. So now we're gonna separate our 2 eggs. It's fun to have a place to put the whites and the yolks. If you don't use the yolks, like if you're making an angel food cake, you can fry those yolks up, and I'm telling you, those are some rich scrambled eggs. I have done it. Oh, yum. There are also some really good chocolate cakes and desserts that just use yolks. So, and actually this recipe just uses the yolks. So here we are. You know, I have to show y'all my cute little measuring cups. Look, this is like little china. Isn't that fun? So what you're gonna do next is you're gonna take the yolks and you're gonna put them in something clear that you can measure, because we're gonna whisk them up and add enough milk to make 2/3 of a cup. I'm gonna beat them up a little bit with this tiny little cute little whisk. Look how cute. It even has a heart. Hi! I love when my farmer comes in. I'm gonna take a little break and feed him. He has worked so hard all day picking corn. So you're gonna put enough milk in for it to equal 2/3 of a cup. And look how cute this little pitcher is. When you have as many daughters as I have, you've got to have tea parties all the time. And we had lots of tea parties, so we have this little fun stuff. And guess where I got it? TJ Maxx. Here, I'll show it to y'all. Perfect. And then I'll just whisk it. Okay, this is ready to go into our flour mixture, our flour, salt, Crisco mixture now. And see, you just pour it in there. And then you stir it with a fork. And the recipe says toss with a fork. I never understand that. Also, I'm not really a rule follower. I have people in my life that are rule followers, and so we're such great teams. Okay, this is perfect. I'm gonna separate this into 2 halves. Now I'm gonna use parchment paper to put the 2 separate halves of the dough together, and I'm gonna roll them out and put them in the refrigerator for a minute to harden up. So I'm going to put half of this dough onto here. Do y'all love parchment paper? I love parchment paper. I didn't use it though for years. And then a friend of mine talked about it in making cookies, and I was like, oh, teach me this new thing, sensei. I actually have a cousin who is a sensei. He has a dojo and everything. It's super cool. I've yet to go to one of his classes, but I'm telling you, he's a black belt but like the most gentle, sweet person you've ever met. Anyway, don't you love that? It's like Jesus, all that power just under control. So I've got my dough, and I'm just gonna put another piece of parchment paper on top. And I'm gonna roll it with my favorite rolling pin, Star Wars. Are y'all Star Wars fans? We are huge Star Wars fans. I get out my pan and I measure my dough and make sure it goes all the way to the end. Now I'm gonna put this in the refrigerator so that it can harden up a little bit, because it makes taking the parchment paper off so smooth and easy. Now I'm gonna do the other half. May the force be with you. Joe Driver, I don't even know if you're watching, but we love you and your precious family. And we're so proud of your son. Just saying. Okay, watch how fun this comes off. It's just great. Fantastic. So now, turn it over. I almost missed really badly. And it comes off so nicely because it's been in the refrigerator. So win-win. Now we've got our first layer of crust down. Now we're gonna put 1.5 cups crushed cornflakes all over the bottom of this. Do any of y'all eat cornflakes for breakfast? Growing up, my mom would always do these giant Southern breakfasts. And I mean, eggs and toast and pancakes and a milkshake with a raw egg in it. Any Rocky fans out there? Now we're ready to chop our apples. Y'all, these apples are so beautiful. We got them about a month ago at Apple Orchard, and it was so much fun. And so they're called Concord, and I haven't seen them in the store. So anyway, did y'all see Sleepless in Seattle? About the whole peeling the apple in one in one piece. I just always think it'd be so fun. So I'm always trying to peel an apple in one piece. It looks like I'm about to do it here, but I don't know, this last part here kind of, woo, I was so close. That's pretty fun. I love it. I mean, it's cliche, but I love fall. Picking apples is a blast. I mean, I don't know if y'all have ever done it, but it is so much fun. We got to pick apples, and you bought the bag so you could pick, you know, however many apples would fill the bag. And it was so much fun. And of course, you had to take a bite of them when you got them, even though the sign said that it probably wouldn't be good to just take a bite. They would want you to wash them first. I took a bite. You know me and rules. I just always thought it'd be fun, though, to have an orchard. The former farmhouse we lived in had an orchard in the backyard. I talked to a gentleman who was raised there. He was one of 11 kids, and it was so much fun. And he said, oh yeah, we had an orchard out back, and they had a fox hunt. It's like the movies. I was like, what? Tell me more. These smell so good. So you have your 6 to 8 apples, and you can chop them however you want to. Sound of an apple slicing kind of sounds like snow when you crunch snow. Okay, now we're ready to put it on the cornflakes. I love to eat cooked apples in small pieces, surrounded by sugar and cinnamon, butter, and crust. Push out the apples to the edges a little bit. It's kind of fun for it not to be flat, for it to kind of be convoluted. Okay, now we're gonna sprinkle our cup of sugar over the apples. I hear my granny, my sweet Southern grandmother, say, sugar. She said it so cute. She was deep South, and oh, amazing. I miss Granny. She's in heaven as well. And I can't wait to use some of her recipes on the show. She's an amazing cook. Hey, we're ready to add our top crust. I just pulled this out of the refrigerator. Look how great. Look how easily that comes off. Look at that. See? Parchment paper. So wonderful. Look at that. Oh my goodness. Fantastic. And how, it not being flat just makes it prettier and more interesting. You have a little bit of this crust left. You can tear that off and then just put it, if I wanted to, I could make a leaf shape out of this and just lay it on the top and it'd be so pretty. But I have a few little thin parts here, and so I'm gonna take this and put it over to get it thicker. You'll wanna seal all of these edges, and then you'll wanna vent the top of your pastry with a knife. Just delicately, so you don't tear it. This is now ready to go into a 350-degree oven for 1 hour. My mom used to make our birthday cakes growing up. She's an artist, remember, and just an amazing baker, but anyway, she always had the best icing. So I've melted my 4th stick of butter, and then I'm gonna add vanilla to it. I'll probably add about a tablespoon of vanilla. So, I'm sure that's a tablespoon. I gotta smell the vanilla. It smells so good. People say stop and smell the roses. I say stop and smell the vanilla. And y'all remember that cute little milk pitcher from the first of the show? Well, I put it in the sink a couple of hours ago. It's gone for a while, but thank goodness I do have another one. Again, got this at TJ Maxx and it's so cute. Okay, time for powdered sugar. I'm so glad something got spilled. Now it's a party. Just add a little bit there and then mix it up and see if I need to add some more. This icing reminds me of my mom's icing for her famous sugar cookies. But her sugar cookies that she makes seasonally for every season in a cute little shape, coinciding with the season, that she makes this icing. And this is about the same icing that is on her cookies. But of course she makes it better because she puts in so much love. I want to be like her, can y'all tell? Look at that. Now it's going to be ready to put on our apple squares when they get out of the oven. I just took this out of the oven and it is the perfect golden brown. This is kind of like an apple pie. My mom made the best apple pies growing up. And this is kind of a new take on the apple pie. My father-in-law will just eat it without icing. He likes just tried and true. And his mom, wow. She was an amazing cook. Emma. All right, she's in heaven too. See how it's not a glaze, it's definitely an icing. Definitely an icing. We're not playing around with glaze. And I like to just ice it to the edge and leave some crust so you can see that beauty. Y'all, I've had so much fun today with y'all. Thanks so much for joining me. And you know what? You can do a little variation on the apple squares. You can get a little fancy with a pastry or the icing. However you want to do it. But don't forget to thank Jesus and enjoy. See you next time.